Magandang umaga po ulit sa inyong lahat. Again, my name is Apple and we are Gateway to Canada. The objective of this morning's webinar is basically to provide you enough information para makabuo kayo ng informed decision if you are planning to study sa Canada with the end in view of applying for permanent residence. So yung first part ng presentation would be about the process. And the second part would be about Saskatchewan Polytechnic's programs and services it offers to international students. So after our presentations, we will be happy to answer your questions. All right. Okay. I'd like to begin by introducing to you our company. Again, we are Gateway to Canada. I need to make some clarifications. We are not a recruitment agency, of course. We do not provide placement services. What we do is basically we provide assistance for all types of visa application going to Canada. We've been in the industry for over 3 decades already. We've been sending Filipinos to Canada since 1989. We are not just an education agent, though. We provide full service package for those who want to immigrate sa Canada. I am making this distinction between education agent and immigration consultancy firm because an education agent will sure be able to help you connect with the school. They'll be able to help you apply for your admission, but they are not in the position to guide you with your immigration plans. No? I'll explore that further later. No? I also like to emphasize that our clients are represented by a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, si Ms. Christina Camarsa. You can look it up sa ICCRC website. All right? So these are the key immigration factors if you are planning to apply for permanent residence sa Canada. And here you will see that if you will study in Canada, you will have a better chance of getting a permanent resident status. Because right now, the design of Canada's immigration program is basically they prioritized those with Canadian education credentials, those with Canadian work experience, and those with permanent and full-time employment or job offer. So obviously, kung nasa labas ka ng Canada, ang chance mo lang dyan ay magkaroon ng job offer. But if you are the employer, who would you rather hire? Yung nasa Canada na with work permit o yung nasa labas pa na hindi sigurado kung ma-approve ang visa? Doable yan pero medyo mahirap. No? So as you will see, you will have a better chance to get a permanent resident status kung mag-aaral ka sa Canada as international student. That's because pagka-graduate mo, meron kang Canadian education credential. And then if you took a 2-year program, you'll have 3 years post-graduation work permit. That is enough para makagain ka ng 1-year Canadian work experience and from there, apply for permanent residence. All right? So here's how it works. Technically, to apply as an international student with the benefit of working part-time and applying for a post-graduation work permit after, kailangan mo mag-aral ng at least 8-month program or 1-year curriculum na program. However, if the goal is to apply for permanent residence, dapat 2-year yung program na kukunin mo. That is because yung post-graduation work permit to be issued sa iyo is equivalent lang sa length of your studies. That means if you studied for 1-year program, mabibigyan ka lang ng 1 year na post-graduation work permit. And if you studied for 2 years, usually ang nabibigay ay 3 years post-graduation work permit. Why is that important? It is because, again, ang kailangan mo para maging permanent resident ay 1-year Canadian work experience. So kung meron ka lang 1 year na open work permit and it took you, let's say, 3 months bago ka nakakuha ng trabaho, ibig sabihin yan, 9 months lang yung magiging work experience mo. Short siya sa 1-year experience na kailangan. Sure, merong mga immigration programs na hindi kailangan yung 1-year experience. Yung iba 9 months lang yung experience na kailangan. Kaya lang, generally speaking, mas madali kang magiging permanent resident sa Canada kung meron kang 1 year Canadian work experience na eligible. So it is highly recommended that you study for a 2-year program. Alright? Now, as an international student, maraming benefits na akakibat yan. Kaya ang tawag namin dito ay Golden Visa. Habang nag-aaral ka, allowed ka na magtrabaho part-time, pero 20 hours lang yan maximum per week, not 20 hours per week. During scheduled school breaks, however, pwede kang magtrabaho full-time. Yung school breaks usually up to 3 months yan. Alright? So, kung married ka, may anak, pwede mo silang isama habang nag-aaral ka sa Canada. In fact, ang asawa mo, pwedeng magtrabaho full-time. And your school-age kids, pwede silang mag-aral ng libre hanggang grade 12. Right? So, mag-aaral ka lang, ang dami mo ng benefits. No? Now, ang isang scenario na pwedeng mangyari is that, lalo na kung sa Saskatchewan ka pupunta, is that habang nag-aaral ka pa lang, ang spouse mo pwede nang magtrabaho, right? So, yung spouse mo may chance na mag-apply ng permanent residence under Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. Pwede rin siyang mag-qualify sa Canadian Experience Class under Express Entry System. So, mas magiging mabilis yung application mo ng permanent residence kung may kasama kang spouse, no? Na pwedeng magtrabaho. Alright? Now, however, bear in mind na studying in Canada is not a guarantee that you will become a permanent resident. This is very important. Again, studying in Canada is not a guarantee that you will become a permanent resident. It's not automatic, no? It's not automatic, it's not guaranteed. Kaya mahalaga yung pagpili ng program, ng school, kung saan province ka pupunta, kasi etong mga factors na ito, meron siyang direct and indirect effect towards your immigration goals. Kaya mahalaga na kung mag-a-apply ka ng permanent ng student visa sa Canada, you should be guided dito pa lang. Kasi crucial na yung pagpili mo ng program and school. Kaya nga, kung mag-hire ka rin lang naman ng somebody to assist you, although hindi naman siya mandatory, right? If hindi mandatory na mag-hire ka ng mga immigration lawyers or immigration consultants like us, kung sa palagay mo kaya mo siyang gawin mag-isa, pwede kang mag-DIY. All the information ay available naman sa official government website ng Canada, which is canada.ca. So, if you are confident na kaya mo siyang gawin on your own, then do it, right? However, if you are planning to hire the services, an agency or consulting firm to guide you, be very sure na nag-hire ka ng tama. Kasi an education agent will be able to connect you with the school, pero hindi ka nila kayang i-guide sa iyong immigration plan. They are not allowed, they are not authorized, and they are not experienced doing that. Only immigration lawyers and immigration consultants are allowed to represent you for a fee, right? So they may be able to guide you with the admission, choosing program. Again, for immigration plan, crucial yung pagpili ng program and yung pagpili ng province. Yung province na pupuntahan mo para mabilis yung pagiging permanent resident mo, dapat naka-align, no? Yung experience mo, yung profile mo doon sa immigration programs na available sa province na pupuntahan mo. Usually, an education agent will assist you kapag ka mag-aaral ka only doon sa partner schools nila. However, as an immigration consultancy firm, we do not limit ourselves sa mga partner schools. So the way we do it, we ask our clients, do you have preferred school? Kung wala, meron ka bang preferred province? Ano yung purpose ng study mo? Ano yung field ng gusto mo? Willing ka bang mag-IELTS and whatnot? No? And from there, tutulungan ka namin i-figure out kung ano yung program in school na pasok doon sa preference mo. Alright? So that's basically what we do. Again, If you are planning to study in Canada, thinking na it's automatic and guaranteed, it is not. No? So kaya kailangan planuhin nyo pong maigi, pag-aralan maigi. Kailangan informed ang decision po ninyo. Alright? Moving on, paano ba mag-qualify sa student visa application? Wala namang masyadong restrictive na requirements dyan. In fact, walang age limit sa student visa application. However, if you are 45 years or older, while pwede ka pa rin mag-apply ng student visa, medyo limited na yung options mo for PR application. Right? Pwede ka pa rin maging PR, it's just that mas maraming options for PR kung medyo bata-bata pa. Alright? Ang pinaka-main requirement sa palagay ko dyan is yung financial capacity. Alright? How true na pwedeng mag-aral pa yung 45 and up? Meron kaming client na 51-year-old na bigyan pa ng visa. Right? Kasi education is supposedly a continuous process. So kaya hindi sila nagbigay ng cap ng limit sa age pagdating sa student visa application. Right? Now, ang processing ng visa, depende ito kung mag-a-apply ka under regular process or yung student direct stream. I explain ko later yung difference niyan. But generally, student visa process is between 1 to 3 months na application process. Ang start ng school is usually January, May, and September. So the earliest you could be in Canada is January of 2022. Abot pa siya, no? Kaya nyo pa siyang mabit yung intake, no? Yung January 2022. However, if you are planning to hire our services, may cut-off kami dyan. Dapat complete na ang documents mo by August 15. So between now hanggang August 15, kaya mo pa siyang makumpleto. Kung makukumpleto mo yan hanggang August 15, pwede ka pang mag-join sa January intake. Otherwise, consider na yung May or September. Again, hindi required na mag-hire ka ng consulting firm like us. If you think you can do this on your own, all the information is available sa government website ng Canada. Ang difference lang is that you will be on your own. No? Ang advantage kung i-hire mo kami, you will be guided. You can bank on doon sa experience namin of over 3 decades already. Simple lang naman yan. Kung first time mo itong gagawin, mas susceptible ka sa mga mistakes. And small mistakes may cause huge problem. The advantage we have is dahil over 30 years na namin itong ginagawa, yung mga common mistakes na yan, napagdaanan na namin at pwede ka namin iiwas. We may not be able to guarantee approval, but definitely we can help you increase your chances of approval through proper documentation. Right? Now, how much does it cost to study in Canada? Yung financial requirements, dalawang parts, no? 2 parts yan. Yung first is yung tuition, second is yung living expenses. Ang 1-year tuition, kasi ang required ng IRCC, ng Immigration Canada, is that dapat makonvince mo sila na meron kang budget for at least 1 year of your stay sa Canada, covering your tuition and living expenses. Regardless kung 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years yung program mo, at least meron kang minimum na 1 year budget. Yung 1-year tuition, on the average, is around 15,000 Canadian dollars. Converted sa 40, that's around 600,000 pesos. Alright? So, some of schools, medyo mababa yung tuition, yung iba mas mataas. But I'd say that's the average, 600,000 pesos. Now, for your living expenses, the amount required is 10,000 Canadian dollars if you are single. So another 400,000 pesos. Yung 10,000 Canadian dollars na yan pretty much cover your accommodation, food, transportation, and other living expenses during your stay sa Canada as international student for 1 year. Pero remember, pwede kang magtrabaho part-time. Right? So yung part-time income mo, although hindi kayang maka-raise ng tuition, definitely kaya namang i-cover yung day-to-day expenses mo through your part-time income. Pero first thing first, dapat ma-convince mo yung visa officer na meron ka ng available funds. So roughly at least 1 million pesos if you're single. Kung kasama ang spouse and kids, then you need to add 4,000 for the living expenses sa unang dependent. Kung may pangalawang dependent ka, additional 3,000 each. Right? Kung, meaning, if you're married with 2 kids, ang ibig sabihin, ang living expenses mo is 10 plus 4 plus 6. That's 20,000 Canadian dollars. So yun yung part ng living expenses mo if you're married with kids. Right? Again, remember, yung spouse mo pwedeng magtrabaho full-time. Okay? Sa computation namin yan, on the average na nagtatrabaho ka ng minimum wage, let's say $14 per hour, yung combined income nyo less yung mga expenses and taxes, meron ka pang savings na at least 1,000 Canadian dollars monthly. Right? So, kayang-kayang mabawi yan. Lalo na pag nakagraduate ka na, parehas kayong full-time na nagtatrabaho. Okay? Now, how do you convince the visa officer that you have the funds? First, I need to tell you, one of the common reasons bakit nare-refuse ang application is because of the failure to convince the visa officer that you have the funds. Right? So how do you convince them na meron kang funds? The best way to convince the visa officer na meron kang funds is to apply under student direct stream. Okay? This is priority processing stream. May cases kami na 4 days lang may approval na. No? It's not always, pero it happens. No? Priority kasi ang student direct stream. Requirement lang, kailangan mong bayaran yung 1-year tuition in advance. Right? Hindi siya mandatory. No? I mean, it's an option. It's just that kung gusto mong mag-apply ng student direct stream, dapat bayaran mo yung 1-year tuition in advance. But typically, the school would require between 1,000 to 8,000 deposit para mabigyan ka ng letter of acceptance. But you have the option to pay that in full. Alright? Kailangan mo rin mag-open ng GIC account. Ito yung Guaranteed Investment Certificate. Simply put, nandito ka pa lang, mag-open ka na ng account mo sa Canada. So there is a program for international students na nandito ka pa lang, pwede mo nang ipadala yung living expenses allowance mo sa Canada. At least 10,000 Canadian dollars. And you also need to take IELTS examination if you want to apply under student direct stream. Okay, ang IELTS is not a mandatory requirement for student visa application purposes. Kung mag-apply ka sa regular processing stream, hindi required yung IELTS. It's more of an admission requirement sa part ng school. Most of the schools require IELTS, academic. Mamaya, pakinggan natin ang Saskatchewan Polytechnic kung i-require ba nila yung IELTS sa mga Filipino students. Now, if you are applying sa school na hindi required yung IELTS and you are applying under regular processing stream, then hindi mo kailangan ng IELTS. We highly recommend though that you take the IELTS and apply under student direct stream. Mas mataas yung approval, definitely. Right? Now, so sa IELTS, again, hindi siya mandatory. No? More on admission requirements lang siya. Now, ang disadvantage naman, kung regular processing stream ka, wala kang IELTS, medyo mabusisi ang visa office pagdating sa financial capacity. Okay? Hindi mo binayaran yung 1-year tuition, hindi ka nag-open ng account sa Canada, tapos nag-present ka ng bank certificate under your name. Pwede naman yun. Or meron kang sponsors. Meron silang letter of support na merong proof na meron silang financial capacity. Pwede rin yun. Right? However, medyo i-scrutinize siyang maigi ng visa office. Kailangan documented yung history and sources of your funds. Pag sinabi mo na ang funds mo ay self-funded dahil meron kang accumulated savings from your years of employment, kailangan maipakita mo na sa bank statement mo nag-accumulate talaga. Hindi yung 2 months before submitting your application, biglang may pumasok na 1 million. or 500,000. So pag nakita yon, which is required na ipakita mo, pwedeng pagsimulan ng duda. Right? So, hindi naman bawal yung gift. No? Binigyan ka ng parents mo or any relative, kailangan lang may supporting documents. Right? Pag sinabi ng kamag-anak mo na supported yung plano mo, sagot nila yung 500,000, kaya ko yan, ito yung bank certificate ko, kailangan ipakita ng sponsor mo kung saan galing yung pera. Pag sinabi niya na may business, pakita niya yung business documents. And dapat kailangan realistic. Kung yung sponsor mo ay married with 3 kids na nag-aaral pa, tapos sabi niya bibigyan ka ng 500,000 pero ang pera sa bangko ay 500,000 lang, maniniwala ba yung visa office na mabibigyan ka talaga? Hindi. Right? So, that kind of thing, no, yung advantage nung student direct stream. Kaya we highly recommend na mag-apply under student direct stream. Ang totoo, however, bihira yung nakakapag-apply ng student direct stream. Kasi to be honest, karamihan ng nag-a-apply hindi naman talaga readily available yung funds. Right? Bihirang-bihira yung readily available funds. Ang karamihan ng sinasabi diyan is kung meron akong ganyang amount talaga na ready, baka hindi na ako umalis. Right? So, hindi problema kung hindi yan available. Kung hindi available yung funds na yan, the more reason na maghanap ka ng solution para maging available yan sa'yo. And one way of doing that is by immigrating to Canada. So maaring iniisip niya na may costly siya, no? Pero it's not. Sabi ko nga, sa part-time income ng student and full-time income ng spouse at $14 per hour monthly, kung dalawa lang kayong nasa Canada, meron pa kayong savings na $1,000 doon sa income niya. Right? So, hindi ko na pabayaan yung presentation ko. Before I turn it over kay Sir Mark, let me just show you yung one of our clients actually, no, permanent resident sila. Pareha silang registered nurse. Si Miss Dana ang nag-aaral. Si Sir RJ nagtrabaho. Naging permanent resident sila through Sir RJ. Kasi siya yung nagkaroon ng work experience. So 2016 September sila nag-move sa Canada, 2019 ng June, permanent resident na sila. At napakaraming tulad nila ang permanent resident na via student visa.